guys. This is Jen.
This is Becky.
And this is Too Close to Home. And this is going to be a very cool episode. The first half, it's going to be a little bit of a two-parter. The first half, we're going to talk about something that's a little bit on the heavy side. And then the second part is going to be a little bit of mind bleach to help you out for all the William Bonin episodes that you've been listening to.
I apologize. I need the mind bleach.
Well, we all do. It's something that I think is very important that we cover first right out the door. I do love a good murder mystery, but I also like to help in what ways I can for the unsolved. I like to give voice to the voiceless, the missing, the disappeared. If you recall my interview with Rachel Carroll from Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, and her search for Jesse Farber Rex, this is going to be kind of along those lines. Today we're going to talk about a missing person. 37-year-old Ryan Wade McLaren of Lenoir, Tennessee. It's Lenoir, right?
Lenoir City,
Tennessee. I have with me Candace, who is a family member that is actively helping in the search for Ryan. Hi, and me and Candace used to work together remotely. So, hey, Candace.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
So let's start. Tell us about you and your family and who you are in relation to Ryan.
Well, I'm Candace. My husband, Michael, is Ryan's stepbrother. Ryan's dad is married to my mother-in-law. They've been married. I don't know how long they've been married. They've been together since Michael and I have been married, and we've been married 13 years. So Al and his kids have been a part of our lives for a long time. Ryan, Michael and I, we didn't live close by most of the first half of our marriage. We actually just moved back to Tennessee like 4 years ago. So we didn't have a whole lot of like interaction. Michael obviously didn't grow up with Ryan. Ryan's closer to my age than Michael's. Michael's younger than me. But anytime that Ryan was around and we were at family gatherings, so nice. You know, he's a brother, he's an uncle, he's a son. Never treated my kids like he was anything other than an uncle. When it comes to my brothers and sister-in-law that are my step brothers and sister-in-law, there's no step. They're just family. So he's a good guy. This has been really devastating for everybody.
Yeah, it's been going on. What day was it?
April 25th. Yeah, 26th, been now like 3 months.
Yeah, and every minute and every hour makes me feel like the case is getting further to cold, and we're going to try to prevent that by talking about it. You know, Ryan, in relation to your kids, what was he like for other people? What have people said about him since he's gone missing? Like, anybody got any good stories on Ryan and what kind of person he was?
Yes. So his sister, Casey, has been leading the way on the case. She's posting all the time on social media. And so as people started sharing his missing poster, I think when it got brought to the attention that Ryan was missing, I guess that was back in June, when it really became a big known thing. People were like, oh, I remember in high school we did this. So it's all been really positive memories and stories that people have been telling. And that's usually the case when people go missing or something happens. But I have not heard anything negative or bad. Nobody's, said anything. Nobody's outwardly decided, he got what he deserved or anything like that. It's not been any of that. So
no. One thing we do know is that he is somebody who has survived addiction.
Yes.
And that has been, we went through this with our last missing case. People get treated just because they've had an addiction, which tell me there ain't addictions in any which way or form. People could be addicted to gambling. They could be addicted to pickles. They could be addicted to making mistakes like me. Regardless, it doesn't make you less. I love that Eli's laughing at me. He's such a hype kid. I love him so much. But it doesn't mean that he's less important or anything like. How long has he been struggling with his addiction? And do you know anything else about that in particular?
From what his mom has posted, so I feel okay sharing it since it's on social media. And once it's on social media, it's always on there.
Right, fair game.
But it appears that Ryan has struggled and fought for a long time since he looks like the age of 17, according to what one of her posts said. So that's 20 years because he's 37. It's a really long time. even I can say the last time that we saw him in person, I wouldn't have known. So he definitely wasn't showing any, outward signs. What I can say is that Ryan chose to get help. He chose to go to his Bible-based recovery system. He completed his 8 months. He finished that in November of 2022. Are you poking your head in?
Yes.
Yes.
He's looking at it and making good faces. Eli, keeping it light.
They are the kids. Eli is like me. We act like we don't have any feelings, but we feel really big. But so Ryan completed. I don't even know. Ryan completed recovery, and he decided after he completed recovery, he was not going to move back home to Cookeville, Tennessee. That's Middle Tennessee. A lot of people, Tennessee, they think Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville. There's
Right.
So Cookeville's about an hour east of Nashville. Lenore City is about 40 minutes west of Knoxville. So he completed recovery in Knoxville. He chose to stay in the Knoxville area instead of coming home to stay away from that group, that environment, because that makes a huge difference. So he had a job, he had a place to stay, and what we do know is on the day that everything happened, so on the 25th of April, that day decided he was coming home. I don't know any of the other details leading up to that. He called home. He let everybody know he was coming home. He was in that accident on I-40. Very little information has been made public. There's an accident report. Their state trooper showed up. State trooper does not believe that there was any influence of anything.
Well, let's back it up for a second. And
Well, I also want to put in a side note of what people have to remember is when someone has an addiction, it's a lifelong struggle.
yeah, it's
Every
not
day is a day of there are good days and there are bad days, and so no matter if he had spurts of bad time or good time, every day is a struggle, and every day is a choice, and sometimes there are other things that happen, so the judgment should be very minimal because it's a struggle every day.
Yeah.
So walk me through the events of the days he went missing, the wreck, the hospital, when he left, kind of what you know about that.
Okay. So what we know is that he was coming home the night of the 25th. So he walked out of a recovery meeting on the afternoon of the 25th of April 25th. He had worked all day. He packed all of his belongings and walked out. He called his sister Casey about 10:30 that night and told her that he had just been in a wreck. The accident happened in Lenore City at mile marker 366 on I-40 West. So leaving Knoxville. It is believed that there were more than one vehicle. Well, there was more than one vehicle involved. The details about that are kind of fuzzy on what else was involved. What I do know is that his vehicle was totaled. The state trooper that worked the accident said that he talked to Ryan and that if he was doing anything drug related, it was mild. They didn't suspect he was high or under the influence of anything. He was taken by ambulance to Fort Loudon Hospital in Lenore City. When he left the scene of that accident, he had his billfold and his wallet. The car was towed to a local tow yard. As of today, he's not reached out to the tow yard. His clothes and all of his personal belongings are still in the vehicle, sitting there in Lenore City. Once he got to the hospital that night, they are saying that he was discharged, and now they won't provide medical records because he's an adult. But he was discharged and left the hospital early morning the 26th. Now, what I can say about this is that Michael drills in Knoxville, and he did not feel comfortable with a lot of things and just this whole thing. So he actually went to the hospital and asked them about security footage. They had already told the family that there wasn't any because they had already taken over it. So Michael kind of got the same thing. So I don't know if there's any. I do know that there are hotels, banks. There's a huge Walmart. So hopefully the police have got something giving us an indication of which way he went. But other than that, we don't know much.
And there's not been any calls or anything coming from his cell phone, right?
His phone was on, I guess, at some point, and it has pinged. So we do know that he made it back to Putnam County in Cookville, or that's the rumor, is that it's pinged and that's where he is. So hopefully that means that narrows it down. Instead of having to search from Cookville to Knoxville, that's like 200 and something miles of searching. This helps kind of narrow it down. Putnam County and Cookville, I guess it's Cookville PD, they have opened up a missing persons case, and there's a detective working it out of there. His bank account has had no activity other than the possibility of a phone ping. No phone calls, no Facebook messaging, nothing like that. There are a lot of rumors going around. Most of the rumors are false. And I say most.
That's one of those things that are so difficult in any kind of a case, missing person or otherwise, is you do get a lot of rumors, and the time it takes to go through each one of those to, dispel them, it's a lengthy process.
Has there been any anyone that had seen him in the parking lot or seen him where the cell phone pings were? Any sightings at all?
I don't think so, and I say that because the detective that's taken over in Cookville is asking that what little information has been given out to the family, because it is an active investigation, so I can't really speak on some of it. But the family does believe that he is in Cookville. Cookville is the home of Tennessee Technological University. So it's like a little big town. So it's not huge, but
seasonally there could be an influx of people. Yeah.
So but you see people all the time. It's not like large. Hopefully somebody sees him, and they don't even have to approach him. Just call, if you know the family, call one of them. Casey, Alicia, who is his mom, Casey the sister, or Al, his father. Call the police office, call the police station, anything, just to let them know that you've seen him. That's really what we're asking for. Just, we don't know what kind of mindset he might be in, so we don't know if approaching him, if you aren't a close family member or friend, may scare him.
And it's better to call and say, hey, this might be him and it's wrong, than not say anything at all.
Yeah. How have the police treated this investigation? I know that Lenoir City was first, and then it went to Cook County.
Yeah, so Lenoir City was first. We were hoping that Loudoun County, that's the county Lenoir City sits in, had it, just because counties are usually easier to get in touch with than the city. So there is an active missing persons case out of Lenoir City with Lenoir City Police Department. They are listed on the NamUs report on their website. And then there is a new detective in Cookville that is taken over, and I think that she is Cookville Police Department. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the flyer. It is, yeah, she's Cookville Police Department, Detective Charlotte Austin. She's taken over for over there, so hopefully we hear something soon. I can't speak on Cookville Police Department. They are good. They know what they're doing. Side note, they arrested Nellie.
That's our claim to fame.
No, probably not, but I always thought that.
On a side note, do you happen to know the last day of the phone ping?
I don't.
That's okay.
I know that Casey went to Knoxville, and Knoxville has a really high homeless population. I mean, they have taken over streets. It kind of reminds me of what you see like Skid Row in certain places. and she walked it.
That's how Becky gets her windows washed in downtown Houston all the time.
Man, I was at a stoplight one day and the guy just like jumped on my car and started washing the window. And I was on the phone and I was like, what do I do? And they were like, well, drive. I was like, I can't. He's like on the hood washing the car. I don't know what to do. And I'm freaking out.
Not even on the pavement anymore. He's on the hood.
I was like almost in tears. I just want to go.
Oh gosh.
Is there any reason or anyone who could have wanted to bring him harm that we know of?
I don't think so.
He seems like he was really had tried to get his life, in the right track and all of that. I don't see him doing anything other than maybe somebody making up in their own head an offense. He just seems like
I can't think of any.
Especially since he was actively going to these addiction meetings, and working on himself constantly.
Yeah. So I don't think so, unless, like you said, somebody has made it up in their head or he thinks that he's upset somebody. I mean, I can't speak for his mindset because I don't know how I would feel if, going through all that, because I've not been through that. And then adding, a car accident. Is there head trauma? Are we looking at, amnesia? Michael was in a really bad car accident as a teenager, and he was in a coma for 2 weeks.
Oh,
and he does not remember big chunks of his childhood. We've been married 13 years. He didn't pick up the boys from the daycare when they were babies because he thought all babies looked alike, and he was afraid he was going to take the wrong one home.
That sounds like a Jimmy problem.
Yeah.
You better label that baby.
So I can't imagine. But if he thinks, you're in the wrong mindset or have some kind of brain injury or head injury from an accident, your car is totaled on the interstate. I can't imagine that you left, you walked away fine. So I don't think anybody's out there trying to hurt him, but you never know.
You don't.
Right. If by some chance Ryan was listening right now, or someone's listening that may know where Ryan is, what would you tell him?
Ryan, we just want to know that you're okay. Call your mama, call your dad, call James, call Casey, call anybody, reach out on Facebook. Heck, if you don't want us to know where you are, contact Detective Austin, let her know that you're okay, let her do a welfare check, and she can just let us know. But really, Ryan, if you're listening, we're really missing you, your sister and your mom and your dad, your brother especially, and all of your nieces and nephews. There's a lot of them, and they're asking, why aren't you able to come to this, and why can't they see you for this? And if you've seen Ryan and you're just not letting anybody know, you need to know he's got his own brother and sister, and then he's got a stepbrother and 2 stepsisters. There's a baby on the way in the family. We're just ready to just know that you're okay. If you don't want us to know where you are, and I say us, like I'm part of the inner circle, but if you don't want anybody to know where you are, that's cool too. We just
want to make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say the mindset is kind of, you don't have to come home. You don't have to contact us, but just send us some kind of lifeline that you're there. And we'll leave you be. Just let us know.
I can't speak for the family on that, the rest of the family, but to me, that would at least make me feel better knowing, hey, I'm fine. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Because again, I can't speak for that kind of mindset. And if he's back into any kind of, active addiction, which I'm not saying he is, but
even if Ryan,
not,
if you're listening, if you did fall off the wagon, we still love you. It's a mistake. Like Becky said, the lifelong thing to struggle with is addiction. So know that you're loved and you're missed, and nobody's judging you.
Right. And if that's the case, we're all here to help you get back on your feet, even if it doesn't seem like it. Tough love, anything like that. But really, I know deep down that Casey and their mom and my father-in-law, they just want to hear from you. Just to know.
So you had another officer from Cook County that that is working the case, right?
Yeah, it's Cookville.
Cookville. Sorry, my apologies. What's her name?
Another county. Cook County is another county.
I'm not getting into geography here. We all know. I can't even barely type some days. So I just want to make sure that we get any and all tips to the police or the family. Here's a physical description. He is a male. He's white. He's 5'11", which is also 71 inches. He's 205 pounds. He has green eyes, short brown hair, and he has a mark on his left arm from the motor vehicle accident.
That is an old accident. So it's a skin graft on his arm and on his thighs, upper thighs. They told us what happened a long time ago, and I can't remember, but I want to say it might have been a motorcycle, dirt bike type teenage accident.
Yeah.
But they are like, so you're not looking at like a cut scar. It's a very noticeable like skin graft type scar. So very distinct.
Right. So I'll go back over the incidents again. It's on April 25th, 2023, while on his way home. Mr. McLaren had a car accident on Interstate 40 around the 366-mile marker in Tennessee. He was transported to Fort Loudon?
Loudon.
Okay, I was way off on that one. Medical center for injuries, but was released April 26th at approximately 3:30 a.m.
Yes.
And this was Mr. McLaren's last known location, and he has not been seen or heard from since. His last known clothing descriptions are unknown, so he could be wearing anything. Well, I mean, within the realm of normal, I guess. He's not wearing a banana suit.
Well, he might be now.
He might be now.
Okay.
That's the sign, Ryan. I'm going to need you to put on a banana suit. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you are asked to contact Lenoir City Police Department at 865-986-2005. Their agency case number is 202-305-10847, and his NamUs number is, I almost said hashtag. Is it hashtag or pound now? I don't know. M as in Mary, P as in Paul, 103735. And the other detective is at Cookville, and her name is again?
It's Detective Charlotte Austin.
And I just want to add a side note. If you were in the parking lot of the hospital at that day and you seen him, you were out on a smoke break, you were sitting in your car waiting for a family member, and you seen somebody and you think that there's nothing to it. Just tell them anything, a direction you've seen him walking, the way he was acting, anything that you think at all. And if you were in Putnam County and you thought you seen him, because that's where his last phone pinged, correct?
Yes.
Then just even like she said, the city is kind of a college town, so people come and go, which can be a bad thing because sometimes you just don't even notice there's people in and out. It's a college town. But if you've seen something, you've seen somebody acting funny, you've seen them, they looked like they were just walking down the street and something just told you, hey, that's kind of weird. Just say something. Any clue, any direction, any information can be helpful in more ways than you think it can be. So don't hesitate to reach out and say something.
All right, let's bring Ryan home.
Yeah, and on what Becky was saying about like see something, say something, I made some phone calls to the local area around the hospital and spoke to the manager at the Hampton Inn, which is the hotel right across the street. They share a parking lot with the ER, the hospital. And I had just mentioned what was going on, gave her the date. And the girl at the front desk said, wait, a strange man came in. Can you ask her if this is what he looked like? And that gentleman, unfortunately, wasn't Ryan. It's an African-American man, but seemed a little confused. Came in the early morning, stumbling from the ER. So even if it's something like that, just let somebody know so the police can follow up on any leads, even as small as, the front desk lady at the hotel thought she might have been the one that checked him in.
Yeah, you guys could be the hero of this story.
Because who knows? They may review camera footage. It is him. They see him talking to somebody, and it just can become a domino effect and lead to more answers.
Right.
So I just want to give one extra shout out. Rachel Carroll is still looking for Jesse Farber Rex as well. So I'm going to add his information here for our Pennsylvania and surrounding state listeners. So we have a person missing in Tennessee, and this one is in Pennsylvania. His name is Jesse Farber. He is a male of 29 years of age. He is Caucasian, 5'6", 130 pounds, hazel eyeballs, and short brown hair. On August 11th, 2015, Jesse called for help at 8:43 p.m., stating that he was in the mountains behind Tamaqua High School, an elementary school, in a tree and had several coyotes surrounding him. Don't laugh.
That's why Camilla had to repeat it 4 times.
He urged his family to bring guns and save him. When asked for confirmation of where he was, he began to answer as his phone died. This is the last contact anyone has had to him. His family and law enforcement have searched several areas, and I know recently Rachel and them have went out and researched the area looking for him as well. He has 2 young children, and they have long awaited their father's return. So find the Facebook page, Finding Jesse Farber, or if you have any tips, contact the Tamaqua Police Department at 570-668-5000 or his family at 570-789-3007 with any tips or information on his whereabouts. If you have seen something, say something. And let's bring Ryan and Jesse home.
Also, one quick thing. Does Ryan have a Facebook page by chance? Missing Ryan Facebook page?
No, I was just thinking that I believe his sister's Facebook page is now public because she is sharing everything. Her name is Casey Solomon. See here. I'm trying to see if I can get in and see if she's public. And then they are very active on Instagram, but Casey can be followed on Facebook at Casey Solomon, and it's CaseySolomon. She's on both platforms, and they're sharing all the updates, anything that her mom posts. Her profiles aren't public. Casey's resharing, so we're just trying to get all the pictures and information out to anybody who happens to see it, hopefully.
Thank you, Candace. I know this had to be difficult, especially being in the position you're in, but I know how much you guys have been searching for him, and we definitely wanted to help. So
we appreciate it very much.
Thank you for trusting us to speak with us.
Yeah.
We have had an update on Ryan since we recorded this interview. While Ryan was found, he was sadly found to have passed on. Due to it being an active investigation, we understand and respect that information is tightly under wraps and hope that there is solace for his family in any answers they are given. Speaking to his family, they want to give thanks to those who helped search and spread the word. We give thanks to Ryan's family as they trusted us to tell his story and gave us permission to post this episode. From too close to home, we send our love and hope that they find peace in such a troubled time. Not knowing where your loved one is one thing. Knowing they have left this world is a whole new grief we cannot comprehend. This reminds us that tomorrow isn't promised, but hoped for. While Ryan's story had the end we dreaded, we renew our mission to help by using our platform to help give voice to the families who are searching for their loved ones. 600,000 people are reported missing in the United States every year. Even though we like to laugh and joke, having the opportunity and privilege to podcast and possibly help in these cases is something we find very important. Remember, if you see something, say something. It takes only a few seconds to read that Amber Alert or look at a missing poster. You could make the difference.
All right.
So now that we've gotten some important business handled, we're going to start and share something so fun and exciting. We all know that our podcast loves Bigfoot along with other cryptids, but now we're going to talk about an interaction with Bigfoot, which we know I've been dying about. I personally haven't seen him in real life, so #jelly, but I now know someone that has. So
Candace's son, Eli, as well as her husband, Michael, have seen some real out-of-the-world stuff in Tennessee, and I wanted to interview Eli on his sightings. We've been friends for a while. He's my cryptid bestie. And so I also wanted to make it even more fun. I wanted to include the miniatures of me and Becky.
So, girls, why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you?
My name is Emma, and my mom is Becky, and I like swimming and drawing, and I like all cryptids.
My name is Camilla, and my mom is Jennifer. I like drawing in school, and I like every single cryptid.
All right, Eli. So tell us how old you are, where you live, and a little about yourself.
Okay, I live in Tennessee. I'm 9. My name is Eli.
What do you like to
I
do?
can't. I like to swim and run.
Have you been swimming a lot this summer?
No,
No, bummer.
she can't take care of a pool.
Listen, bro,
She popped a hole in it.
I popped a hole in my little baby pool, and now it's leaking. I don't even know where that hole's at. We just found that this morning. So
We didn't find out that this morning.
yes, we did, because it went down like 2 whole inches. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's the first question.
Tell
Look at,
us,
hold on. Look at the microphone.
the first time you saw Bigfoot, what did he look like?
Tell them about the first time. Tell them where you were.
I was at a creek.
I was at a creek. Can you give more information?
What were you doing out at the creek? Were you catching like tadpoles?
No, I was playing. And then I thought I heard Zeb. What's a dog? So I run to the creek, and it wasn't a dog.
What did he look like?
It was it was super tall. It had a bunch of hair on it. Like, the only place it didn't have hair is probably its eyes.
I thought you were going to say butt for a second there. And then I was like, wow, he's like a baboon?
I was really concerned about what was coming out.
I'm not the only one that does that. Okay.
What color was his hair?
Probably like a brownish black.
Ooh, that's a dark one.
Was there a smell or a sound you experienced before you saw him?
Yes. So the sound it made was like a mooing hissing.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's a good one. He doesn't sound like Chewbacca. Did it scare you when you heard it?
No, because I've heard scarier things than
Right.
Girl, I've only known Eli 5 minutes, and I can already tell he's super brave. How dare you ask if he was scared?
How dare I?
He was scared. Nightmares. Michael and I didn't know what had happened, and Eli started having nightmares regularly, waking up screaming, the kissing monkeys are at the window, the kissing monkeys are trying to get me, they have knives for fingers, all this stuff. And, I thought, what did he watch on YouTube?
Right?
Kissing monkey with knives for hands doesn't pull anything up.
No. Candace, you've actually told me, we've talked about this several times. We love talking about cryptids together, but you told me you have a theory about why Bigfoots love Eli so much.
I do. But when Eli had his first encounter at his Nana's house down at the creek, was about 3 months before Eli was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So they already smell a little sweeter because of all the sugar that's unable to get processed in their body. And now he smells like insulin, which is a whole different kind of smell. But it seems to cryptids in general, because Bigfoot's not the only one that Eli's had an encounter with, seem to just like the smell. I don't know if it's his aura, because he's not afraid.
No.
Definitely
Or maybe
there's
that's it.
something-
Maybe because he's small and they smell that and they know that he's just inquisitive and he ain't scared. They ain't scared.
Yeah.
It's a special relationship.
Seems like it. The one that he saw seems to be the same one that keeps coming back. So.
Was that the only time you saw him?
You got to speak into here.
Was that the only time you saw him?
no. Yes, that's the only time I saw Bigfoot, but I've seen some other stuff too.
Oh, yeah?
No other times you saw Bigfoot?
There's no other times?
What?
No other times you saw Bigfoot?
No.
I thought you saw him
Did I see
the
him
last
twice?
time that you were down there. Or did you just hear him? Hear something?
I heard something.
Oh, sorry.
So, Eli, let me ask you. What do you think Bigfoot wants when he comes? Do you think that he thinks you're cool and he wants to be your friend? Do you think he's tired of living in the woods and he's hoping your mom can get some bunk beds and he can shack up with you? What you think he wants?
I basically think it's just a gorilla what's escaped the zoo.
That's a doctor of cryptozoology right there if I've ever seen it. Right there. You're going to follow in Becky's footsteps.
Right.
And make $0 and 0 cents while you're doing it.
Has anyone else seen Bigfoot in your family?
No, I don't think so. As Dad, you've seen Bigfoot?
Did. Since we've been here.
What was your experience like, Candace?
I went to go to the gym at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like a normal person. But I had just come out the door and heard the god awfulest scary scream. I mean, it was enough. It stopped me dead in my tracks. And I just remember thinking, almost doesn't matter where I go, 'cause I can't outrun whatever that was. I went straight back inside. I remember I woke up Michael and he was like, "What?" But I had seen something, I just didn't know. But something had run across. There's a horse pasture had run across the horse pasture, and
Yeah, because you guys are out in the woods of Tennessee in nature.
yes, we are pretty far out. We are 10 miles from the Kentucky line, north of Nashville. So
For all
right
you
on the-
creepers out there, they have a 10-foot tall privacy fence with barbed wire, laser beams, and sharks. Don't y'all mess with them.
Stupid.
Have you seen any other cryptids?
Have you seen any other cryptids?
What does that mean?
Like what Bigfoot is? Like your friend across the street?
Tell me that you've seen the Mothman.
Have you seen the Mothman?
No.
What did you see across the street?
I saw a dog man.
A dog man?
A dog man.
Are you sure it just wasn't your neighbor?
No.
No, so in the horse pasture, there's like this little fence between a wheat field and a horse pen. I saw something peek its head out of those trees there,
Oh, man.
and it
So do
looked
you
like a
think-
dog. It was. I could. You could probably see it. You could. I was lucky it didn't see me because it. So it looked left, right, up, down.
Sounds like a PlayStation cheat code.
That's what I was just thinking.
It kind of does.
It does. It does. Do you think Bigfoot will eventually get so cool with you that he's going to come out of the woods and hang out with you?
No.
You're not going to leave him any Bigfoot snacks or anything? I don't know what Bigfoots eat.
I think they eat twigs and berries.
What I think is they probably eat wood because how would they eat berries if they're in a woods without berries? How would they eat?
I'm pretty sure
true.
they ate your bunny.
They probably did.
That's, wood would be a lot of fiber.
Emma, what do you think Bigfoot eats?
I don't know.
I want to say it's an omnivore.
You know what?
Jimmy said he eats Jack Links.
Jack Links. Oh, he eats Jack Links like the sausage,
Like the commercial?
the turkey. Dang it, Jimmy, you're so funny. All right, Camilla, you ready?
Eli, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Open a food store,
A restaurant.
a restaurant.
I mean, it's not
Nice.
wrong. They do have food, and it's kind of a store. You buy stuff, right?
It could be a cryptid themed restaurant and I would totes visit.
All the time.
Like Bigfoot plates?
Oh my God. Plates in the shape of Bigfoot's foot.
I'm here for it.
Now I've heard that. I will make a flapjack called the Bigfoot flapjack.
Well, you gotta tell them what kind of restaurant.
Yes.
Eli, I am 100% here for it.
Breakfast. It's an all-day breakfast.
Yas.
The kid
All
who
day
can't
breakfast.
eat wheat, the kid who can't eat, anything with gluten in it, he's gonna open a breakfast restaurant.
Bruh, I miss Cracker Barrel breakfasts so much. I know I'm right there with you, bro. Gluten's rude. So rude.
When I said the wheat field, I almost said my natural enemy.
My natural enemy. I should start saying that. I'm like, look at that field over there. My natural enemy just trying to get me. Gluten did.
Is that thunder?
What is your favorite podcast?
Oh, crap.
What's your favorite podcast?
I don't much listen to podcasts.
I'm
You
going to give
do
you
listen-
a hint. Too close to home.
That's your answer.
But you also like listening to the
Yeah, you answered.
was it the Bigfoot Chronicles? What's
Oh,
that
yeah.
other
Pod
podcast?
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Wes.
Yeah.
Out to Wes too. He doesn't like to interview kids because they're impressionable and he doesn't know if they're talking about what they've seen or what their parents want them to say they've seen. But we did
Well-
reach out to him. Way back.
Well, obviously we beat them because we're way cooler because we believe you. I believe you.
I really believe you.
I really believe
I thought
you
it-
too.
I thought I saw Bigfoot, but it was just 3 squirrels stacking on each other to try to get an acorn.
Trying to get an acorn.
Just trying to get a note. What's up?
So thanks, Candace and Eli and the rest of your family for letting us in on your most amazing Bigfoot encounters. We definitely enjoyed it, and we can't wait to hear more as you grow older and become a doctor of cryptozoology, because that's what you should do when you grow up. You would be perfect for it.
That's
Yep.
what I'm working on.
And-
We can
Yep.
be twins and show our matching
Yeah.
degrees.
Should I say anything else?
Yeah.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.
Check out our merch.
What are your 2 close to home stories?
Don't forget to rate and subscribe on all the platforms. And remember to stay safe.
Keep your head on a swivel.
And
don't bring it
too close to home. I'm excited. This was a very good interview, guys.
That
At
was
least
fun.
I didn't mess up like you do.
She roasted her.
If you enjoyed this episode of Too Close to Home, don't forget to rate and subscribe to us on most platforms. Follow us on our social media at Too Close Home Pod on Facebook, at Too Close Podcast on Instagram, or if you have your own Too Close to Home experience, shoot us your story at tooclosetohome@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening.